Welcome to today's Explainer. We have got a truly incredible journey ahead of us. We're going to explore the very foundation of human existence. We're going all the way from our baseline biological need to simply survive, and we're moving upward and outward into the profound architecture of human meaning. It's a really fascinating structural look at what actually makes a life feel significant. So let's get into it. Okay, let's dive into this. There is a profound, universal truth about us human beings. Once our basic needs are met, a new hunger emerges. We don't just want to survive, right? We want to know that our lives have actual significance. Meaning isn't just some luxury item. It is literally the invisible force that gives our choices direction. It connects all our scattered, daily experiences into a coherent whole. And ultimately, it's what allows us to feel that our time here actually counts for something. And that brings us to the big one. Why are we living? Now, that's not a riddle we're going to solve in just one sitting, but it is the absolute deepest, most fundamental inquiry we can make as conscious beings. By even asking this, we are setting the stage for this expanding circle of meaning that we're going to explore together today. To even start answering that massive question, we've got to contrast two concepts: merely surviving versus having significance. Surviving is, well, it's about keeping a heartbeat going. Significance, on the other hand, is about finding purpose. But here's the secret. This meaning doesn't just come from one magical place. It emerges from entirely different dimensions of our lives, kind of acting like building blocks. And the most immediate of these starts with what we actually do every single day. We're starting grounded right here in the inner ring of our lives with meaningful work, which is really defined by contribution. Work transforms into something meaningful the exact moment it becomes more than just a paycheck. So whether you're a farmer producing food, a teacher developing young minds, a nurse caring for the sick, or an engineer building infrastructure, your work is the bridge. It connects your individual effort to something much, much larger than yourself. When we stop and ask ourselves, what can I contribute to the world? We are really looking for confirmation that what we do has value to someone else. It's brilliant, actually. We experience this deep satisfaction when we know our daily grind is actually serving a larger societal puzzle. It completely fulfills our fundamental human need for competence and purpose. But, work is only one piece of the puzzle. We find another absolutely crucial dimension in love and social connection, and that brings us belonging. As humans, we are fundamentally relational beings. We just aren't wired to live as isolated islands. Whether it's our parents, our partners, friends, or even neighbors, these connections profoundly shape our life experience. Having mutual support, trust, and someone to share both the joy and the suffering with, that is what transforms life from merely existing into truly belonging. Love answers this incredibly profound, fundamental inquiry. With whom do I share my life? It gives our existence so much emotional depth. And hey, this isn't just about romantic love either. It's about any meaningful relationship built on care and mutual recognition. Honestly, without it, true human flourishing is nearly impossible. So, moving on to family life. The crucial point here is that family creates continuity. It's a really special form of social connection because it spans across time. When we care for aging parents or when we raise children, we're transmitting memories, traditions, and knowledge. We inherit from those who came before us, and we leave something behind for those who come after us. We are literally writing ourselves into a longer human story. Asking, what am I part of and what will I pass on, really anchors our deep need for legacy and intergenerational connection. It reminds us that our choices today matter for sure, because we are actively participating in an ongoing human story. We aren't just isolated data points on a timeline. Now let's move to the middle ring of our circle and see how this builds. As our awareness expands further, we reach social work and service, which is entirely about responsibility. Here, we shift our focus outward. We use our time, our resources, or our influence to improve the lives of others. Whether that's through mentoring, healthcare, or community development, we are extending our circle of concern way, way beyond our own front door. Notice the powerful transformation that happens here. We stop asking, what can I get from life? And we boldly start asking, whom can I help? It's a massive shift. Service takes personal success and transforms it into true social responsibility. As our circle expands even further, we turn to science and the pursuit of knowledge. This is humanity's systematic attempt to really understand reality. Through curiosity, evidence, and truth-seeking, we explore matter, energy, the brain, the whole universe. We move beyond the assumptions that were just handed down to us, and we demand empirical understanding. Now, what's truly fascinating about this is how science takes our seemingly small personal existence and places it right within the context of a vast empirical universe. I mean, it might not hand us an ultimate cozy purpose, but it dramatically, breathtakingly widens our understanding of the reality in which we live. But empirical reality isn't the whole picture, which brings us to philosophy, the dimension of wisdom. See, while science investigates and gathers the facts, philosophy introduces deep reflection. It asks us not just to hold beliefs, but to aggressively examine the assumptions hiding behind them. It tackles the big, non-empirical questions. What is truth? What is justice? What actually makes a good life? Basically, philosophy takes all those incredible facts that science has gathered and challenges us on what we should actually do with them. Knowledge tells us how to split the atom, right? But wisdom asks whether we should. It acts as the ultimate ethical lens for our ever-expanding knowledge. Okay, we've reached the outer rings of our architecture now, moving into spirituality or transcendence. Let's slow down for a second. This isn't about possessing absolute, rigid answers. Rather, it's an individual's deep, existential investigation into consciousness itself. It is that willingness to remain completely open to what might ultimately be discovered in the deepest dimensions of reality. Just let those massive questions hang in the air for a second. Who am I? What is the ultimate nature of reality? Spirituality is really defined by this internal discovery. It's a profound, deeply personal search that doesn't just accept what's been told. Alongside that, we have religion, which provides a framework for ultimate meaning. Now, it's important to draw a clear, neutral contrast here, based on our source material. Religion generally provides an inherited framework. It says, here is an inherited understanding of ultimate reality, complete with scriptures, communities, and moral teachings. Whereas spirituality, as we just saw, says, let me search deeply and directly. Religion steps up to these monumental, sometimes terrifying, and yet deeply beautiful unknowns. These inherited traditions provide a highly structured communal response to the absolute limits of human understanding. Wow, when we bring all these pieces together, it reveals this complete, integrated architecture, mapping all 8 sources to their core values. And what's so amazing is that these aren't mutually exclusive choices. You don't have to pick just one. A person can find contribution in their work, belonging in their relationships, continuity in their family, and responsibility in their service, all while pursuing knowledge, wisdom, and ultimate meaning. They are all integrated dimensions of one complete human journey. And as we mature, our meaning naturally evolves through these 4 steps. In our youth, meaning is often very external, right? It's about what we can have, our possessions and our accomplishments. But as we grow, it moves to how we live and who we love. Then it deepens into what we know and who we become. Finally, at the deepest level, it shifts toward transcendence. It's this beautiful, natural shift from externally derived meaning to internally discovered meaning. Our lives are quite literally an expanding circle. We start out primarily concerned with the self, but then our awareness bursts outward to our relationships, to our family, to serving society, to contemplating all of humanity, protecting nature, understanding reality, and finally reaching toward transcendence itself. Our scope of concern grows from our own basic survival all the way out to the cosmos. Which brings us to our final provocative thought. The deepest question isn't just what will make my life meaningful. No, the real question we must ask ourselves is, how can I live, love, serve, know, and ultimately understand what it means to exist? Meaning isn't some treasure buried at the end of your life just waiting to be found. It is an architecture you continuously create and discover. So keep expanding your circle.